Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I will be talking about Season 3, Episode 37, The Canary Sedan, starring Jessica Tandy as Laura and Murray Matheson as James. And this is kind of an underwhelming, below average episode, in my opinion. There's not really a ton of things technically wrong with this episode, I guess. A few plot conveniences here and there. But overall, my main issues with this episode are it's very slow moving. Not a lot really happens throughout the episode. And it also does feel a tad on the overdramatic side, in my opinion. And the twist ending isn't really that great either, in my opinion. The episode seems to build it up like it's some big reveal, but in my opinion, it didn't really work all that great. Although, like I said, it fits the episode okay, I guess. So we start with a woman named Laura, and she's a psychic, and two men are talking about her and how she's on a trip to reunite with her husband in Hong Kong. And then we get to see Laura in action, and she seems like she legitimately has some psychic power. She's pleased the man that she's been talking to. He's certainly convinced, and she seems to be legitimate, as we'll find out throughout the episode. So we are then in Hong Kong, and we are introduced to Laura's husband. James is his name, and Laura definitely seems more excited to see him than he does her, which will be important to the plot. He seems to be in a hurry to go somewhere else, and this seems to disappoint Laura quite a bit. She seems upset by this. So at this point, Laura goes to get a car to travel around in during the day because it's recommended to her, and she's able to sense that the old color of the car was yellow, I think, which tells us once again that she can definitely sense some of these things for real. So Laura's driving around and she starts hearing a woman's voice. And Laura's definitely drawn to and affected by this woman because it turns out this woman's talking about some kind of love affair that she had. And it seems like this is something that Laura would want more of in her life. So the relation makes sense. Although I have to say one of my issues with this episode and the plot not always being convincing is I didn't think the woman's voiceover dialogue was particularly effective. It came off to me as not natural and trying a little bit too hard. If that makes sense to convince us of what's going on, it just didn't really work for me that much. I thought the voiceover could have been much better, and it is important to the episode. So at this point, Laura's with her husband, and she starts hearing this voice again, but only she can hear it. He doesn't hear anything. So he blames woman who helped raise her, and this causes friction between them. But they never go back to this plot about how she was raised. But I guess it was fine. It just once again shows that Laura and her husband have a disconnect. So at this point, Laura goes to a party and she's asking a gentleman about this woman whose voice she heard. I guess she's trying to find out more about her. She's really intrigued, and this guy seems to know some things. So when Laura hears the woman once again, this is getting kind of repetitive at this point. This time the woman is basically crying. So Laura starts actually talking, responding to this woman, basically saying she wishes she had the kind of passion that this woman had in her life. There's really no reason for Laura to be talking out loud here because the woman doesn't respond directly to her. It's basically to let the audience know how she's feeling. This wasn't really a convincing plot element either, but whatever. It does finally move the episode forward. Like I said, this episode's kind of slow. So eventually Laura does find the house where this woman lived. Turns out the woman doesn't live there anymore. So Laura's exploring the house. She seems pretty satisfied until she sees like some kind of stone with words and initials carved out. And it turns out when you put two and two together that this woman and Laura's husband were having an affair. So this woman she was hearing was having an affair with her husband the whole time. And the episode really tries to make this kind of like a profound twist, but like I said, it was fine. It fit the episode. All the pieces fit together, but it was just kind of underwhelming for me, mostly because the episode was so slow. And like I said, the voiceovers really didn't convince me that much. I felt like the episode tried a little bit too hard and went for more drama than it really earned. But others might like the episode a little more. If you like these quiet, kind of slow build-up episodes with a decent twist, you might enjoy the Canary Sedan. But for me, it was just pretty underwhelming, and I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. This is definitely not an episode that fans of the show need to watch, in my opinion. But if you like Jessica Tandy or just like these kind of stories, you might want to check it out. So 2 out of 5 for the Canary Sedan. And as always, thank you very much for watching.